Good morning. This is Sirisha and welcome back to my channel, Everything Business by Sirisha Varma. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that I have just started doing since this week. As you know, I am a digital marketing professional. I run an agency called as Branding by Pixels, and I have been doing a lot of content around digital marketing, small business marketing, ideas that you could use to create some extra income sources for yourself as well in this particular channel, Everything Business by Sirisha Varma. But most of the times in this specific channel, you would not have found anything very personal about me being discussed. That is because I believe that at any point of time, it is important to be professional. But today, I am going to create content which is a bit different from what generally appears in this channel. Today, I'm going to talk about one activity that I really loved doing this week. And I just started doing this because I have thought a lot about business. I have thought about success. I have thought about failures. Pandemic has been tough, not just for me, but most of the business owners. And pandemic was an awakening, which made me think more about how my business should be run, what are the different steps that I need to do, etc. But after looking at all of these circumstances, even life changes, right? I just understood that life is very unpredictable. And as an entrepreneur, especially if you are an entrepreneur and not an employee, you need much more push and you need much more motivation to continue going on this path, which is full of uncertainties, right? You definitely don't know tomorrow if I wake up whether I will have clients, what do I need to, the entire ecosystem might have changed. So when I was looking for motivation, of course, the first thing that I started doing was going through YouTube, right? Because that is the medium that I generally use to talk about my business. So I went to YouTube. I looked at, of course, lots of channels which specifically talk about motivation. But apart from that, I'm the kind of person who likes, who learns when they do something. So I thought probably I should look at something which is live in action, and that is where sports came into picture. So specifically, if you look at me as a person, I have not played much sports through my childhood. So somewhere I feel that there is this lacking in me, that because I did not play any sports, that competitiveness or the maturity that comes when you play sports, right, isn't there with me. So I was definitely attracted towards sports, and that is when I came upon this French Open that is right now happening and is streaming live on Sony Live. So what I did was I immediately bought the subscription for Sony Live. Disclaimer: this is not a sponsored video by Sony Live, but I immediately bought a subscription for Sony Live and started watching French Open. Of course, I could not watch all the games that were being played. I just watched a few of the games. One of those was played on Sunday. It was between Nadal and some other guy, some very young guy. And that was my, I would say, first match that I have watched of Nadal. Before that, I just heard of him. I have never seen him play any games. And finally, yesterday, I was watching this amazing game between Nadal and Zverev. So Zverev, Alexander Zverev is another player. He is world's top number 3, and it seems Nadal is world's top number 5. So I but unfortunately I couldn't watch the complete game because by the time I completed my day's work and I remembered that I had bought Sony Live and French Open was going on, it was almost I think 2.5 hours or 3 hours into the game, and post that was when I was able to watch it. But when I started looking at how Nadal was playing, because I have heard a lot about him, I wanted to understand more about what are his strategies, how does he play, because Of course, I was looking at motivation, right? As an entrepreneur, I was stuck and I was thinking, how do I go from here? And what are other people doing for motivation? So that is where I started watching Nadal closely. And I'm this kind of person who, no matter what I do, even if I'm watching a movie, I there is still some reel behind my brain that keeps going, wherein I keep thinking about, is there something that I can learn from this? So that is the kind of personality that I have. So when I was watching Nadal, there were a few points that I learned from him, and when I started explaining these points to myself, and of course, whenever I watch something like this, I definitely discuss this with my brother. We are like two peas in a pod. So I'm very close to him. So whenever there is some kind of learning, I immediately call him up and discuss everything with him. So when I was explaining all of these things to him, I thought this is a very, very interesting subject and I should make a video out of it, just because this is very much relevant for entrepreneurs, students, people who are trying to make big in their career, because these are the kind of things that the top seed player is using in his strategy. So that is why I'm making this video today. So these are some of the points that I learned from Nadal. Of course, please definitely share what you have learned, probably from other sports or from your life as well, so that everybody who reads the comments can also learn from you. So let us get started. Number one, when I saw Nadal playing for the first time, which was on Sunday, I felt like the game was very, very slow. um, I expected a lot more from him. I'm that kind of person who expects a lot when I specifically know that that person has a lot of potential. And I have heard about Nadal, his world's top seed number five. So I expected a lot. I expected a quick game. I expected a quick win or a quick lose, but the game was going on. It was a very young guy. He was probably world's 35th player or something. So then suddenly the game started becoming a lot more interesting. So that is when I understood that it is a strategy of Nadal to slowly start. Right at the start, he doesn't play all that serious game. He doesn't push the ball to go to the end of the court, but he slowly starts the game, and that is his strategy, because he's trying to understand how the other player is working with the balls, what are his serves, etc. Probably. And it was very, very interesting for me, because as an entrepreneur, most of the times, no matter what activity we do, we go with all guns blazing. And most of the times, though you go with all the guns blazing, you, of course, go through failure. And that is when all your energy gets sapped. You feel very disappointed in yourself and in the market, because though you have put 100% push and energy towards that specific activity, nothing has come out of it. So rather than that, probably we should also learn something from Nadal and slowly start the activities and see where it goes. That is where probably you could start with prototype building. You could start with some basic product, launch it out in the market and see whether there is demand or not, so that you don't put all your energy, you don't put all your money, you don't put all your effort behind one specific activity which you don't know will be a failure or a success. Point number two, when I saw his game, he was slowly starting it out. And the second point that I noticed was he was not running around the court much. So he was maintaining his stance and he was only taking those balls which were coming his way. He was not running too much around the ground. But the first player, who was around 25 years of age, whereas Nadal is 35 years of age, was running too much around the ground. He was not even leaving any balls. He was trying to hit all the balls that came his way. And slowly I started exhaustion building into him. And that is when I understood the smart, very, very smart strategy by Nadal, wherein he was trying to maintain his stance. He was trying to preserve his energy because he knew that he had to play many more sets. So that is why he was not running around the ground. Now, specifically, if you incorporate this to an entrepreneur, most of the times we feel that whatever we are trying to do does not make so much of success. So what we try to do is we try to do multiple things at one time. Again, we don't take it easy because we are entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs means you are a control freak, so you want everything to be 100% perfect. You are a perfectionist as well. So that is when what you do is you do multiple things at one point of time, thus distributing your energy because we have higher energies. And when you do multiple things, you don't get anything right and you fail in multiple things. And that again saps your energy. You feel disappointed. You just feel like, what the hell am I doing? And you just give up. So rather than that, use Nadal's strategy the next time you come across any activity. Do one thing and do it focusedly. Maintain your stance. Don't run around the court. Now, point number 3. So, if you specifically look at these strategies, that is, number 1 is slowly starting, number 2 is maintaining his stance. This is why he has all that energy and he's still able to play with a 25-year-old player. Now, specifically, if you look at French Open, right, wherein this tennis matches are going on, I've also watched a women's single match. In the women's single match, I have watched this young girl of 18 years old beat a woman of 31 years old in a singles match. And that is where I understood that in this match, right, in this French Open tournament, there is no specific age restriction. So anybody could be playing with anybody. So Nadal, who is 35 years of age, no matter how athletic you are, no matter how much you maintain the body, as you grow older, the body's energy starts seeping away. And that is where, with all of these strategies, he is playing his best game against any year-old guy because he just defeated a 25-year-old guy, right? So which is not easy because if you're 25 years old, your hormones are full on action, and if you're an athlete, then probably you're taking all the best diet that is possible, so you have a lot of energy. So playing with somebody like that is not easy, but Nadal was able to maintain his stance just because of his strategies. So what can we as an entrepreneur do to manage our energies? Most of the times we do unnecessary activities. We try to do everything by ourselves because we think if we do it, that would be perfect. So rather than that, try to delegate it to people. Do only those activities which will give you the maximum profits or the maximum revenues in your business. It could be your marketing efforts, it could be strategizing, it could be meeting customers. No matter what activity makes you feel energized, gets you the most revenues for the business, just focus on that one activity. Now, point number 4. Nadal slowly and steadily builds the game because even in the first match where he was playing with a 25-year-old guy, he had to play 6 sets before he won that match. Now, specifically, I looked it up. It seems each set has 6 games in it. So, a total of 36 games was what he played. Now, specifically to play such a long game, which was more than 2 hours at that point of time, is very, very difficult to maintain focus, to maintain energy, and the harsh clay coat. Apart from that, the lights, they give you a lot of sweating, so you are losing minerals constantly. And of course, the adrenaline is what is keeping you on. So, whenever you are looking at even a business, it doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't even happen in a decade. Most of the times you hear about these stories wherein suddenly the entrepreneur comes into limelight because he has got a funding or he has sold his business. But behind that entrepreneur, you might think that, oh, it just took him 1 year, it just took him 5 years, it just took him 10 years. No, there is much more work that goes on behind the scenes, even for that specific entrepreneur, until and unless he puts in a minimum of a decade, that is 10 years. he will not be successful. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to become a successful entrepreneur, dedicate at least a decade of your life. And a decade is the minimum. You don't know how the market conditions will be tomorrow, so it might take more than a decade, but steadily build your game. Now, point number 5, the most important point: no matter how tough it gets, Nadal never gives up. Even in yesterday's match, wherein he was playing with Alexander Zverev, who is world's top seed number 3, and he was playing a game with him for more than 3 hours. And Zverev is a very, very energetic guy. He's a lanky 6 foot young man, and he was just running around the court, serving the balls to the longest length possible, because he is lanky. He's already 6 feet, so he has all the bodily features to serve the ball against Nadal at a longer distance. But Nadal was still holding his ground, and he never gave up. Finally, Zverev hurt himself, which was very, very unfortunate, and Nadal went into the finals, which of course is not the win that he was expecting. But he never gave up, and that is why he finally entered into the finals. As an entrepreneur, you will be seeing a lot of lows rather than highs before you become successful. People will be telling you, why do you want to still pursue this business idea? Why don't you get a job? You will be getting paid very well, because you have those skills with you. If you really believe in yourself, if you think this is the way for your life, don't listen to anybody. It may be your spouse, it may be your parents, it may be somebody very close to you, but no matter what they say, they just don't see the vision that you see for yourself. So never, never, never give it up. Believe in yourself, friend. Trust in yourself. This is Sirisha Murthy, founder, chief strategist at Branding by Pixels, a business strategy design and digital marketing company coming live to you from India. What do you think about these 5 points? What are the things that you might have learned playing sports by yourself or watching sports by yourself? Do leave it in the comment section. I would love to read it for myself, and others can also learn from you. If you want to take your business digital and you need my help with it, you can write to me directly at sirisha@brandingbypixels.com, sirisha@brandingbypixels.com. The email will be scrolling in this video. You can also watch specifically real estate marketing videos. If you are a real estate agent, there is a complete playlist called as Real Estate Videos in this channel, Everything Business by Sirisha Varma. So do go and check it out. And specifically, if you're looking to export your products, I have also created how to export a complete series. It is another playlist. Do check that out as well. I hope you like this video. Enjoy your weekend. Get some rest, strategize, get motivated, and get going on Monday. I will see you again in my other video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please do take care. Bye-bye.